Hello and welcome back, folks. In today's video, we'll be diving into an important topic that affects workers everywhere: workers' injury compensation insurance. Whether you're an employee or an employer, understanding the ins and outs of this insurance coverage is crucial. Hi, this is at Insurance World TV, and in this video, we'll explore the key aspects of workers' injury compensation insurance, discussing the rights and benefits it provides to employees. We'll also touch upon the responsibilities of employers and shed light on the importance of this insurance for both parties. Throughout the video, we'll cover the following topics. 1. Definition. 2. Cover application. 3. Cover structure. 4. Legal aspects. 5. Benefits to the employees. 6. Benefits to the employers. Whether you're an employee seeking to understand your rights or an employer wanting to ensure compliance and protect your workforce, this video will provide valuable insights into workers' injury compensation insurance. So, if you're ready to gain a deeper understanding of workers' injury compensation insurance and the benefits it provides to employees, click that subscribe button and let's get started. Chapter 1. The definition. Workplace injury compensation insurance, also known as workers' compensation insurance, work injury benefits insurance, or workers' compensation insurance, is a type of insurance coverage that provides financial benefits to employees who suffer injuries or illnesses arising from or as a result of working or performing duties related to their job. Or short definition, it is an insurance cover that provides financial protection to employees who suffer work-related accidental injuries and/or illnesses. It is a form of social benefits insurance that protects both employees and employers by ensuring that injured workers receive necessary medical treatment and income replacement while protecting employers from potential lawsuits related to workplace injuries. Here are some key points about workplace injury compensation insurance. 1. Purpose. Why is it important? The primary purpose of workers' compensation insurance is to provide financial support to employees who are injured or become ill due to work-related activities. It helps cover medical expenses, rehabilitation costs, and a portion of lost wages for the injured employee. 2. Coverage. What does it cover? Workers' compensation insurance typically covers a wide range of work-related injuries and illnesses, including accidents, repetitive motion injuries, occupational diseases, and psychological or emotional conditions resulting from workplace conditions. 3. Employer obligation. What is required of the employer? In most jurisdictions, employers are required by law to provide workers' compensation coverage for their employees. The specific requirements and regulations may vary depending on the country or state, but generally, businesses must obtain workers' compensation insurance or self-insure to cover potential workplace injuries. 4. Benefits. What are the cover benefits? The benefits provided by workers' compensation insurance may include medical treatment, partial or total disability payments, rehabilitation services, vocational training, and death benefits for dependents in the event of a work-related fatality. 5. No-fault system. How does it operate under this system? Workers' compensation operates on a no-fault basis, meaning that injured employees are typically entitled to benefits regardless of who was at fault for the injury. This system helps streamline the claims process and avoids lengthy legal battles. 6. Employer premiums. How are premiums arrived at? Employers typically pay premiums for workers' compensation insurance based on factors such as the number of employees, the nature of the work, and the company's claims history. Premiums may vary between industries and individual businesses based on risk factors. 7. Exclusivity. In exchange for providing workers' compensation benefits, employers are generally protected from lawsuits by injured employees seeking additional damages. This exclusivity protects employers from potentially costly litigation. It's important to note that the specific details of workers' compensation insurance can vary by jurisdiction. Chapter 2. Application of workers' injury compensation insurance in workplace. The application of workers' injury compensation insurance in the workplace involves several key steps and practices. Here's an overview of how it is typically applied. Obtaining insurance coverage. Employers need to secure workers' injury compensation insurance coverage from an insurance provider. This involves selecting an appropriate insurance policy that meets legal requirements and suits the needs of the business. Compliance with legal requirements. Employers must ensure compliance with local laws and regulations regarding workers' injury compensation insurance. This may include understanding the minimum coverage requirements, submitting necessary documentation, and making premium payments as mandated by the governing authorities. Communicating coverage to employees. Employers should inform their employees about the existence of workers' injury compensation insurance and how it applies to them. This communication can take the form of employee handbooks, safety training sessions, or information provided during the onboarding process. Workplace safety and risk management. Employers have a responsibility for the workers' injury compensation insurance claim process. Filing insurance claims. Employers must facilitate the workers' injury compensation insurance claims process for their employees. This involves assisting the injured employee in filing the necessary paperwork, ensuring that all required documentation is provided, and submitting the claim to the insurance provider within the stipulated timeframes. Cooperating with insurance provider. Employers need to cooperate with the workers' injury compensation insurance provider throughout the claims process. This may involve providing additional information, supporting the investigation if required, and working closely with the insurance adjuster to ensure a smooth and timely resolution. Facilitating return to work. Employers should actively support injured employees in their recovery and facilitate their return to work when medically feasible. This may involve implementing temporary work accommodations, providing vocational rehabilitation services, and maintaining open lines of communication with the employee and their healthcare providers. It's important for employers to familiarize themselves with the specific workers' injury compensation insurance requirements and regulations applicable in their jurisdiction. Consulting with legal and insurance professionals can help ensure compliance and effective application of workers' injury compensation insurance in the workplace. Chapter 3. Workers' Injury Compensation Insurance Benefit Structure. Workers' injury compensation insurance is designed to compensate employees who get injured or fall ill from their workplace. The benefits under this policy are death benefits, permanent total disability benefit or PTD, temporary total disability benefit also known as TTD, medical expenses cover, last expense benefit, and occupational illness cover. The benefit structures vary depending on the jurisdiction and the specific workers' compensation laws in place. Let us now look at what these benefits will compensate for. 1. Death benefits. Also referred to as survivor's income replacement benefit, death benefit under this policy will pay the deceased employee's survivors an amount equivalent to their earning at the time of death for a specified period, thereby ensuring that the dependents are not left without an income when their breadwinner dies while at work or through work-related injury or illness. This death benefit is typically designed to function as income replacement cover. The death benefit section under this policy will pay a lump sum amount equivalent to the deceased employee's salary for a defined period to the surviving family members. The defined period varies with different jurisdictions. An example. In Kenya, the law requires that the employer pays the employee's dependents up to 8 years, thus when an employee dies, their family will receive a death benefit lump sum equivalent to the deceased employee's monthly earning for 8 years or 96 months' pay. Calculation of death benefit. Under work injury benefits, the death benefit is calculated at 100% of the employee's earning. This means that death will result into 100% loss of income, and therefore the insurance policy will pay 100% of the employee's salary for the duration specified in the policy, usually in lump sum upon full documentation of the claim. Illustration. In Kenya, if an employee who earns $50,000 per month dies, the death benefits payable to the family will be the monthly salary of $50,000 multiplied by 96 months or 8 years, paid in lump sum. Claims settlement procedure. This benefit is usually paid directly to the employee's designated survivor by the insurer. However, in cases where there are disputes, the payment can be made to the legal representatives of the insured company for onward dealing. Any deviations must be within the governing laws. 2. Permanent Total Disability Benefits, PTD. The second benefit under this policy is Permanent Total Disability, PTD. This is also known as Income Replacement Benefit. Permanent total disability, in the context of workers' injury compensation insurance, refers to a condition where an employee sustains a severe and permanent impairment that prevents them from engaging in any gainful employment for the foreseeable future. Here are some common elements that may be considered when determining permanent and total disability. Irreversible impairment resulting from loss of or significant loss of function in a body part, organ, or system, making it impossible for the employee to perform any substantial gainful work. Inability to perform suitable employment. Permanent and total disability typically means that the employee cannot engage in any work that they are reasonably qualified for based on their education, training, or experience. It considers the employee's functional limitations and the impact of the impairment on their ability to perform work-related tasks. Medical evaluation and prognosis. The determination of permanent and total disability often involves comprehensive medical evaluations and assessments conducted by healthcare professionals. These evaluations consider medical evidence, diagnostic tests, medical reports, and expert opinions to establish the extent and permanence of the employee's impairment. Vocational factors. The assessment of permanent and total disability may also consider vocational factors, such as the employee's age, education level, work history, and transferable skills. It examines whether the employee's impairments significantly limit their ability to perform any work that is reasonably available in the job market. In the case of a total and permanent disability resulting from a work-related injury, workers' injury benefits insurance will provide disability benefits. The extent of the disability and corresponding benefits are typically determined through medical evaluations and assessment of the employee's ability to work. Calculation of permanent total disability benefit. Under work injury compensation insurance, the permanent total disability benefit is calculated at a percentage of the employee's earning as may be defined by National Workers' Injuries Compensation Guidelines. An example: if one loses a limb, i.e., a finger, the policy will pay a percentage of the employee's salary for a specified period of time. In Kenya, if an employee who earns $50,000 per month loses a finger and the percentage benefit awarded is 5%, the permanent and total disability benefits payable to the member will be 5% of the monthly salary of $50,000 multiplied by 96 months or 8 years, paid in lump sum. Claims settlement procedure. This benefit is usually paid to the employee directly by the insurer. However, other arrangements can be made but within the law. 3. Temporary total disability in workers' injury compensation insurance. The third benefit under the policy is temporary total disability, TTD, which in the context of workers' injury compensation insurance refers to a condition where an employee is temporarily unable to work due to a work-related injury or illness and is completely disabled from performing any job duties. Here's a definition of temporary total disability within workers' injury compensation insurance. Work-related injury or illness. Temporary total disability applies to injuries or illnesses that are directly caused by or arise out of the employee's work activities. It is a time-limited benefit. It applies to situations where the disability is expected to be temporary and the employee is expected to recover and return to work at some point in the future. The specific duration of temporary total disability benefits varies based on the jurisdiction and the employee's medical condition. During the period of temporary total disability, employees may be entitled to receive income replacement benefits that aim to partially compensate for their lost wages. The benefit amount is typically a percentage of the employee's pre-injury earnings and is paid periodically, such as weekly or monthly. In the case of a temporary total disability resulting from a work-related injury, workers' injury benefits insurance will provide disability benefits. The cover under this benefit seeks to pay for loss of income for the duration the employee is out of work due to the injury or illness, typically determined by looking at the number of days the employee is off duty, evidenced by sick-off sheets. Calculation of temporary total disability benefit. Under work injury compensation insurance, the temporary total disability benefit is calculated by taking the daily earnings multiplied by the number of days an employee is unable to work due to work-related injury or illness. Illustration. In Kenya, if an injured employee is off duty for 90 days due to work-related injury or illness, the policy will calculate daily earnings and multiply the same by 90 days, i.e., the number of days the employee is off duty. Claims settlement procedure. There are two scenarios here. The first scenario is where the employer continued paying the injured employee's full salary. In this case, the benefit is payable to the employer. However, if the employee was not receiving their salary during the incapacitation period, then the benefit is payable to the employee. 4. Medical expenses coverage. The medical expenses benefit under workers' injury compensation insurance covers the costs associated with necessary medical treatment and care for work-related injuries or illnesses. Here's an overview of the medical expenses benefit. Workers' injury compensation insurance typically covers a wide range of medical expenses related to the treatment and recovery from work-related injuries or illnesses. This can include doctor consultations, hospitalization, surgeries, diagnostic tests, such as X-rays and MRIs, medications, physical therapy, rehabilitation services, prosthetics, medical equipment, and necessary medical supplies. The medical expenses benefit covers treatments that are deemed reasonable and necessary for the employee's recovery and rehabilitation. The insurance provider or claims administrator may review the medical treatments and procedures to determine their necessity and appropriateness. Workers' injury compensation insurance generally covers both immediate and ongoing medical treatment and care. It includes emergency medical care, initial assessments, follow-up visits, specialist consultations, and any other necessary medical interventions deemed appropriate for the employee's recovery. Pre-authorization or pre-approval. In some cases, prior authorization or pre-approval from the insurance provider may be required before certain medical treatments or procedures are covered. This helps ensure that the treatments are necessary and appropriate for the employee's condition. Coordination of care. The workers' injury compensation insurance may involve coordination of care to ensure that the employee receives appropriate medical treatment. This can include directing the employee to specific healthcare providers or facilities, managing referrals to specialists, and overseeing the overall treatment plan. Direct billing. In many cases, the medical expenses under workers' injury compensation insurance are directly billed to the insurance provider. This means that the medical providers can submit the bills directly to the insurance company for payment, reducing the financial burden on the employee. It's important to note that the specific coverage and limits for medical expenses can vary depending on the jurisdiction and the workers' compensation laws in place. Employees and employers should review the specific policy terms and consult with the insurance provider or claims administrator to understand the coverage and requirements under workers' injury compensation insurance for medical expenses in their jurisdiction. Calculation of medical expenses benefit. Under work injury compensation insurance, the amount of medical benefits payable is based on the actual medical bills incurred in the hospital up to the policy limit. Illustration. If a policy has a medical limit of $200,000, the policy will pay this benefit up to the limit of $200,000. Claims settlement procedure. There are three scenarios here. The first scenario is where the injured employee spends their own money. In this case, the medical benefit is reimbursed back to the employee. If the employer paid the bills on behalf of the employee, then the amount is reimbursed to the employer. The third scenario is where the insurer pays the hospital directly, in cases where the employee is still admitted. 5. Occupational illnesses benefit under workers' injury compensation insurance. Occupational illnesses benefit under workers' injury compensation insurance provides coverage for employees who develop illnesses or diseases as a result of their work. This policy typically covers occupational illnesses that are directly caused by the employee's work activities or workplace conditions. Occupational illnesses can include respiratory diseases, skin conditions, repetitive strain injuries, hearing loss, chemical exposure-related illnesses, and other conditions resulting from workplace hazards or prolonged exposure to certain substances. The limit of benefit under this policy is dependent on the policy purchased and the amount of premiums paid. Diagnosis and treatment. The occupational illnesses benefit covers the costs associated with the diagnosis, treatment, and management of the illness. This includes doctor consultations, diagnostic tests, medications, specialist consultations, therapy, rehabilitation services, and any necessary medical equipment or aids related to the treatment of the occupational illness. Causation. To be eligible for the occupational illnesses benefit, it must be established that the illness is a direct result of the employee's work activities or exposure to workplace hazards. This may require medical evidence, documentation of workplace conditions, and an assessment of the causal relationship between the work environment and the illness. Reporting and documentation. Employees are typically required to report the occupational illness to their employer within a specified time frame. They may also need to provide supporting medical documentation and evidence to establish the connection between the illness and the workplace. Disability and income replacement. In cases where the occupational illness results in temporary or permanent disability, workers' injury compensation insurance may provide income replacement benefits. These benefits aim to replace a portion of the employee's lost wages during the period of disability. Rehabilitation and vocational services. Workers' injury compensation insurance may also include provisions for rehabilitation services and vocational assistance to help employees with occupational illnesses return to work or find alternative employment if necessary. This can include job retraining, career counseling, and job placement services. Calculation of occupational illnesses benefit. Under work injury compensation insurance, the occupational illness benefit is usually given as a lump sum benefit or as a percentage of the primary benefits, i.e., death benefit. Illustration. Upon diagnosis and confirmation of illness having been resulted from work, the benefit becomes immediately payable. Claims settlement procedure. There are 3 scenarios here. The first scenario is where the injured employee spends their own money. In this case, the medical benefit is reimbursed back to the employee. If the employer paid the bills on behalf of the employee, then the amount is reimbursed to the employer. The third scenario is where the insurer pays the hospital directly, in cases where the employee is still admitted. 6. Last expense cover. Workers' injury compensation insurance also provides last expense cover, which is payable to the deceased employee's survivor or dependents to assist them meet funeral expenses. This benefit is always a rider with a standard amount of benefit. Claim is payable within 48 hours after full documentation. Chapter 5. Legal aspects of work injury compensation insurance. Work injury compensation insurance has several legal aspects that govern its implementation and coverage. Here are some key legal aspects related to work injury compensation insurance. 1. Workers' compensation laws. Work injury compensation insurance operates within the framework of workers' compensation laws, which vary by jurisdiction. These laws outline the rights and responsibilities of both employers and employees in the event of work-related injuries or illnesses. They typically establish the mandatory requirement for employers to provide workers' compensation coverage and define the scope of coverage, benefit entitlements, and the claims process. 2. Employer obligations. The laws typically impose legal obligations on employers to provide work injury compensation insurance coverage to their employees. This includes obtaining the required insurance policy, accurately reporting workplace injuries and illnesses, and timely payment of premiums. Employers are also responsible for maintaining a safe work environment and complying with health and safety regulations to minimize the risk of work-related accidents and injuries. 3. Employee rights. Workers' compensation laws grant certain rights to employees who suffer work-related injuries or illnesses. Employees have the right to file a claim for compensation, access medical treatment, and receive benefits for wage replacement, medical expenses, vocational rehabilitation, and disability accommodations. The laws generally protect employees from retaliation by their employers for pursuing workers' compensation claims. 4. Benefit entitlements. The workers' compensation laws define the types and extent of benefits that injured or ill employees are entitled to receive. These benefits typically include medical expenses, temporary or permanent disability benefits, vocational rehabilitation, and in some cases, death benefits for dependents in the event of a work-related fatality. The laws may specify the calculation methods, maximum benefit amounts, and duration of benefits for various types of injuries or illnesses. 5. Claims process and dispute resolution. Workers' compensation laws establish a claims process through which employees can seek compensation for work-related injuries or illnesses. This process typically involves reporting the injury or illness to the employer within a specified time frame, filing a formal claim with the Workers' Compensation Board or Commission, and providing supporting documentation. Disputes or disagreements regarding benefit entitlements or claim denials may be resolved through administrative processes, such as hearings or mediation, or through the legal system. 6. Compliance and penalties. Employers are legally obligated to comply with workers' compensation laws, including maintaining appropriate insurance coverage, accurately reporting injuries, and fulfilling their obligations towards injured employees. Non-compliance can result in penalties, fines, and legal consequences. The laws may also outline penalties for fraudulent claims or false reporting by employees. It's important to note that the specific legal aspects of work injury compensation insurance can vary by jurisdiction. Employers and employees should consult the workers' compensation laws of their respective jurisdiction and seek legal advice to ensure compliance and understanding of their rights and obligations under work injury compensation insurance. Chapter 6. Benefits of having a work injury compensation insurance. Having work injury compensation insurance provides several benefits for both employees and employers. Here are some of the key advantages. Benefits of work injury compensation insurance to employees. Work injury compensation insurance provides several benefits to employees. Here are some of the key advantages. 1. Medical coverage. Work injury compensation insurance typically covers medical expenses related to work-related injuries or illnesses. This ensures that employees have access to necessary medical treatment, including doctor visits, hospitalization, surgery, medications, rehabilitation, and therapy. It helps alleviate the financial burden of medical costs, ensuring that employees receive appropriate care. 2. Income replacement. If an employee is unable to work due to a work-related injury, work injury compensation insurance provides income replacement benefits. These benefits help replace a portion of the lost wages during the recovery period. This financial support ensures that employees can meet their basic needs and maintain their financial stability while they are unable to work. 3. Rehabilitation support. Work injury compensation insurance often includes provisions for rehabilitation services. This may include physical therapy, occupational therapy, vocational training, and other support to help the injured employee recover, regain functionality, and reintegrate into the workforce. Rehabilitation services provided through the insurance can facilitate a quicker and more successful return to work. 4. No-fault system. Work injury compensation insurance operates on a no-fault basis, meaning that employees are generally entitled to benefits regardless of who was at fault for the injury. This eliminates the need for employees to prove negligence or fault on the part of their employer, making the claims process simpler and faster. 5. Legal protection. By having work injury compensation insurance, employees have access to a structured system for receiving compensation for work-related injuries. They do not need to pursue lengthy and costly legal battles with their employer to obtain benefits. The insurance provides a clear and defined process for filing claims and receiving the necessary support. 6. Peace of mind. Work injury compensation insurance provides employees with peace of mind knowing that they are protected if they suffer a work-related injury or illness. They can focus on their recovery without the added stress of worrying about medical expenses or lost wages. This sense of security contributes to overall well-being and reduces financial anxiety. 7. Support for dependents. In the unfortunate event of a work-related fatality, work injury compensation insurance may provide death benefits to the dependents of the deceased employee. This financial support can help alleviate the immediate financial hardships faced by the family and provide for their ongoing needs. 8. Legal protection. By having work injury compensation insurance, employees generally have access to a no-fault system. This means that they can receive benefits regardless of who was at fault for the injury, avoiding lengthy legal battles and ensuring timely compensation. It's important for employees to familiarize themselves with the specific terms and conditions of their work injury compensation insurance policy to understand the scope of coverage and benefits available to them. B. Benefits of work injury compensation insurance to employers. Work injury compensation insurance offers several benefits to employers. Here are some of the key advantages. Legal compliance. In many jurisdictions, employers are legally required to carry work injury compensation insurance. By obtaining this insurance, employers ensure compliance with legal obligations, reducing the risk of penalties, fines, or legal consequences for noncompliance. Financial protection. Work injury compensation insurance provides financial protection to employers in the event of workplace injuries. It covers medical expenses, rehabilitation costs, and a portion of lost wages for injured employees. By having insurance coverage, employers can mitigate the financial impact of such incidents and avoid paying these costs out of pocket. Lawsuit prevention. Work injury compensation insurance also protects employers from potential lawsuits by injured employees seeking additional damages. By providing coverage for medical expenses and lost wages, the insurance helps mitigate the financial risks associated with workplace injuries. Work injury compensation insurance generally provides protection against lawsuits filed by injured employees. When employees receive benefits through the insurance, they typically waive their right to sue the employer for additional damages. This helps employers avoid costly legal battles, saving them time, money, and potential damage to their reputation. Improved employee relations. Offering work injury compensation insurance demonstrates an employer's commitment to the well-being and safety of their employees. It can foster a positive relationship between employers and employees, enhancing loyalty, morale, and productivity. Employees feel more valued and supported, leading to increased job satisfaction and potentially lower turnover rates. Risk management. Work injury compensation insurance encourages employers to implement effective risk management strategies to prevent workplace injuries. Insurers often provide resources, guidelines, and safety recommendations to help employers maintain a safe work environment. By reducing the occurrence of workplace accidents and injuries, employers can minimize disruptions, downtime, and associated costs. Cost control. Work injury compensation insurance premiums are typically based on factors such as the number of employees and the nature of the work. By implementing safety measures and reducing the frequency and severity of workplace injuries, employers can maintain a favorable claims history, potentially leading to lower insurance premiums over time. Employee productivity and retention. When employees know that they are protected by work injury compensation insurance, they may feel more secure in their jobs. This can contribute to higher productivity, as employees can focus on their tasks without concerns about potential financial hardship due to work-related injuries. Moreover, having insurance coverage can help attract and retain top talent, as job seekers often prioritize employers that prioritize employee well-being and safety. It's important for employers to review their specific work injury compensation insurance policy to understand the extent of coverage, limitations, and any additional benefits or services provided. Employers and employees should review their specific insurance coverage to understand the scope of benefits provided. Thank you for watching this video on work injury compensation insurance. We hope that you found the information valuable and insightful. If you enjoyed the content and found it helpful, we kindly request your support in subscribing to our channel. By subscribing, you'll stay updated with our latest videos on various topics related to insurance. We also encourage you to leave your comments and feedback on the video. Your input is essential in helping us improve and provide content that meets your needs and interests. If you found the video useful, we would greatly appreciate your likes and shares. Sharing the video with others who might benefit from the information helps us reach a wider audience and spread awareness about insurance. Once again, thank you for your time and attention. We value your support and engagement. Stay tuned for more informative videos.